Now that we have opened up lesson 01, we've got our program, we've got our workspace that has our commands in it, probably opened up like this, and then we've got our 3D image. And if you ever get your 3D image kind of out of whack, you can't really see what's going on, just go ahead and click Reset Work Cell, and that'll reset just the 3D, won't change anything else about your program, just that part right there. When you're navigating through this space, you can right-click and move left and right, and you can also right-click and hold it down, and you can zoom in and out. Another way of doing that is clicking on the hand up here to drag the image around. If you use the scroll wheel, you'll actually rotate upward or downward. And then using the left click with the hand, you can move it around. So it'll let you get pretty close to. It is different than what you're probably used to, but you play around with it enough and you'll get pretty good at it. And if you ever get out of whack again, hit the reset, and it'll send you right back to where it was. On the bottom left, we have our manual movement. Manual movement allows us to control each of the joints individually or work in the Cartesian plane X's, Y, and Z. In the bottom left, we have our open and close gripper. It looks like a spider. So if I open the gripper, it'll pop open. If I close the gripper, it'll close. Now understand that this is a separate part to these 5 items. So the robot operates with these 5 things, and this is a separate thing entirely. We've got our X, Y, and Z. If we want to move X, Y, and Z, then we'll look at our speed. We can change that. We've got axis 1, and that's just going to be the left and right movement, so I can press this. And while this is engaged, while this is highlighted like this, I can use the keyboard and also move back and forth. I can move using 2. If I go too far back, you will see the position is not in the joint workspace, or it'll give you an error saying you've made an impact or you're outside of the Cartesian plane. So you just press OK. I like going and hitting reset and kind of getting me going back to where I was. We're going to go ahead and rotate this. The best way to rotate it to begin with is set it up into a safe position. And a safe position, like we talked about through our slideshow, is position 90. Because we only have one rack, we're going to go to position 90. And that's going to have us set up exactly in a safe position so we don't have to worry too much about what's going on. So let's put the robot in a safe position. That safe position, like we said, is going to be 90. So let's go ahead and get it moving. So we're going to move axis 2. We're going to rotate it to about 45 degrees visually for us. And we're going to rotate the third axis down till about parallel. And then we'll rotate 4. Okay, and that's just going to put it kind of up above everything so we can always kind of go to this position. And then once we've done that, we go to position number, we type in 90. That's the position we want to save it, and then we press this button. It saves that information there. So 90, record, it's got absolute, and if we go to view positions, boom, there it is. It's got all the information for every single axis, every single encoder. Then we're going to put it down, so we're going to go ahead and navigate. Our next challenge is to navigate to getting it to opened over the blue. So I'm going to press open. I've opened the gripper, and I'm going to move it in the X, Y, Z. Now that we're in a safe configuration, we can actually move in the Z. Before it wasn't going to be able to because we're going to have to go through the robot. But now I can move, so I'm going to use Z, and I'm going to move it down. Always checking to make sure that you're lined up. Moving in the Y direction, moving in the X direction. If you're having trouble getting it exactly right, you can always change the speed down. And we'll move a little bit less. You want to be about halfway, so I use the hand, drag this up. And you can see that I'm not centered. Let's move a little more on the Y. We're going to call that good. So this position is going to be our bottom position. Okay? Our bottom position on rack 1, position 2. All right, so we got rack 1, item 2. So that's going to be 1, 2, 0 because our vertical position is 0. It's the bottom one. So we're going to call this 120. So I type in 120 in the teach positions, and then I press teach position. And that's going to save that there. So if I go to view positions, I've got 90 and I've got 120. Then go ahead and I can, based off of this position, actually get my next position, which is right above it. Because you don't want to go from safe position straight down onto the object. You want to stop right above it and then slow down. So we can go quickly, right above it, and then drop down safely. So we're going to do that. We're going to set up that position. That position is going to be 121. We're going to expand. Once we've expanded, we've got position 120. We're going to change that to 121. We're going to click relative to, and we're going to go to 120. So relative to 120, I want to make a change. And the only change I want to do is the z-axis. And we're going to add 100 to the z-axis. 100 millimeters is about 4 inches. And we're going to teach. Now that I've done that, I can go to View Positions. And you will see 90 has a whole bunch of information. 120 has a whole bunch of information. Both of those are absolutes. And then the type for 121 is relative. No change in X, no change in Y. The only change is in Z, not in pitch or roll. So it does that. Let's go back to simple. Make sure you've got absolute selected now. Then we can use this, teach positions, to send it to the position. So we click on 90, and then we click this, and it goes up to 90. We go to 121, click, there it is. And then we go to 120, click, and there it is. And so we've got those 3 positions, and that's what we need for lesson 01.